Final game in the AlphaDraft Challenger League. Thank you, everyone, to sticking with us for so long. It's been quite a long day. Obviously, the third, fourth match is finishing in a quick 3-0. But this game, this grand final, making it to game 5, 2-2 between the Misfits and Fang Gaming. We're into picks and bans. The bans already finished out, and someone's walking away with the win. It's been pretty even throughout the night, each team dominating two separate games, and we're going to have to see who comes out on top in this game 5. Frosk, what do you expect here? What can we expect to see with this first pick on the side of Misfits?
I feel like we're looking at a thresh is what I feel needs to come out here. Now, for the entirety of the series, except for the very last game, Fang Gaming had done a fantastic job keeping Thresh out of the hands of Ramelia, known as the Thresh Princess, almost a Thresh-only player. Of course, she's shown multiple power points across multiple champions, but well known for that pick. Unfortunately, they finally gave it over in response to picking up a Jinx on first rotation, got punished for it, and this time around, that's a first pick Poppy.
That's not a first pick. That's a Thresh. I was going to try to cut you off before you could finish. That's a proxy pick.
That's a proxy pick for Thresh?
Ramelia only owns supports. RF only owns top lane champions. Poppy is a top lane champion. But that is, in fact, the first pick Thresh. They did let Fang Gaming know. So it's clear on both sides what's going through here. We will have to rerun through picks and bans really quickly, but that is, in fact, the first pick Thresh for Ramelia. On the opposite side, though, 14A getting that Gragas, Latman getting that Jinx, and while Ramelia is like the hook goddess without a doubt, the queen of Thresh, I don't know if it's worth giving 14A this comfort pick and giving Latman this kind of hyper scaling carry.
Well, the big thing was is we were questioning, the fact that Jinx was first pick, and then the immediate response is, well, since we aren't able to first pick the Thresh and we didn't ban it away, that it was going to go over to Ramelia, and it worked out perfectly. I mean, we saw how early Latman and Baby got zoned off their creeps just because of the threat of Ramelia's hook potential was always present. So, I mean, 14A is really kind of the question mark here about what his impact's going to be on that Gragas. And on the other side, Alberto looking for the Nidalee. So he says, okay, early game jungle pressure, let's go.
And this is a pick we really haven't seen since the numerous nerfs to jungle Nidalee, her base health, I believe the most recent, the traps previous to that. But we'll have to see exactly what Alberto can do here. This was one of the most popular bans in the regular season for the AlphaDraft Challenger League because it was so powerful on patches 5.7, 5.6. Kind of faded out as the Cinder Hulk meta started to come in, but it's definitely incredibly powerful. And if they want to snowball a win in the same fashion that they did in their previous game, this is an excellent pick to do it with.
Especially for junglers like 14A, like Hard. Sorry. Had to blow my nose real quick right there. So see how Alberto is going to perform on this champion if he's able to make the same sort of early game impact that his team needs that he got last game. On the other side, Gnar and Morgana going to be the lock-in. So obviously Baby looking towards the Morgana as the obvious response to the Thresh. We saw him make some crazy outplays. That said, Ramelia also flashed a couple Dark Bindings herself with some sick flays. Get it? Like sick plays,
but got
flays.
It rhymes. Yeah. You got me. That one's pretty good. All right.
No.
No, it's not. But that's okay. It's
Stop, please.
No. No, what? You don't like it when I just take it to the next level and just, yeah, it's brilliant.
That's awesome. Varus, please. Varus mid. Give it to me, Alex.
Quote of the night.
He's thinking about, whoa.
All right. Okay, so let's talk bottom lane. Latman and Baby, I'm not getting derailed here. Latman and Baby have the bot lane. They got it last time. This time around, it looks like we might not see that Caitlyn pick, and they made some pretty amazing plays. Let's be real. And if they hadn't fallen behind so early on, they may have been able to get something back, but it looks like, once again, kind of defaulting the comfort pick. Stixay going to get that Corki. Alex Each going to get that TF, and RF, once again, has that Aurelia in his hands.
So looking for the comfort picks, I always love Alex on Twisted Fate. I mean, it really goes back to Moscow 5 and Gambit when Edward and Diamond used to roam the jungle together, and Alex would take the Twisted Fate pick, so that way at any time post-level 6, it could be a 3v1 in the jungle at any sort of scenario. See if he's going to find the same success here, simply because Alberto is on a very aggressive Nidalee pick, so when he invades, again, the fact that if Destiny is up, it can quickly become a 2v1 in the jungle at any point in time. last pick being hovered right now is actually Zyra. So that'd be an interesting kind of counter to Twisted Fate if Golden Glue chooses to go that route.
I don't know. I feel like this could be another proxy pick, maybe something that Baby doesn't own here, but it looks
I
like
would assume.
I don't know exactly what's going to get picked up here. He ducked out of the lobby. It looks like it will be, I think, a Ziggs pick going through for Golden Glue. We're going to have to see what the final lock-in is there for them. But going to run through picks and bans one more time for these guys just to get that proxy pick out of the way. But we do have about a 3-minute spectator delay. Before we get into that, before we go to break, what are your thoughts on these two lineups? And I know you're excited about Alex's TF. Do you think that's what it's going to take for Misfits to get ahead early on?
Yeah, I think Misfits thrive when Alex and Crumbs get involved with their side lanes. I mean, obviously, RF has already established a trend that when you give him Aurelia, you give him early ganks, that he's able to snowball, that he's able to impact the map and, change the course of the game. So it's comforting to see him go back to that. Ramelia has her signature pick, has the Thresh available to her. So I think Misfits targeted and changed exactly what they need to. The early game dominance and taking their veterans and spreading their power to the side lanes. On the other side, Fang Gaming likewise understand what needs to happen in this game, what's important, and where plays are being made. It's in the early game. They pick up an early game aggressive jungler. They allow 14A to have the Gragas so he can have impact. He can be the disengaged come late game. And then they also take Jinx, the big power pick. Yeah, it didn't find a lot of success last time. We'll see if maybe they'll look for a lane swap. But it's still a very potent and very powerful champion in the meta.
My big concern here is going to be for Golden Glue in this mid lane. You see him taking cleanse, but he can't tank a single yellow card. The second a spear hits him, I guess, do you know if cleanse removes the hunted debuff?
In Italy? No,
Yes.
I do not.
Well, we'll have to find out in this game, and Golden Glue better hope so, because if he tanks a spear, a gold card into a spear, he will get blown up in an instant, and that combo only gets easier level 6 once TF can port around the map. So like you said, a lot of early to mid-game impact in these two picks. Hopefully it'll pay off for them on the Misfit side, but on the opposite side, that Jinx and that Ziggs, so much wave clear, so much tower pressure, and if they can stay even, I feel like they will outscale. We're going to have to see what happens here. 3 minutes left now on the spectator delay before we get into this game. In the meantime, guys, wellplayed.org/giveaway. One of your last chances to participate, to sign up here. And you can win a full set of Razer peripherals. Of course, big shout out to Razer and to AlphaDraft for sponsoring that giveaway. And thanks to you guys for staying as late as you have. We'll see you on the Rift in just a few minutes.
You know there's something that I saw about your way. now you stare at me the same. You took one look, but you play me like a game. I can see. You took one look, and now you stare at me the same. You took one look, but you play me like a game. Miles of fire, I'm losing ground.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Game 5, the final game of the AlphaDraft Challenger League. My name is Daniel C. Dracos. I'm joined by Ryan Frosker and more. This is Frank Fang Gaming facing down Misfits. It's 2-2, and after 3 weeks of regular season games, everything comes down to this. Both teams have worked hard to get here, and everything is on the line in this final match. Early trading, but starting up for the Misfits, it's going to be RF once again on Aurelia in the top lane. Alberto, aggressive as ever, now on this Nidalee pick. Alex Each in the mid lane on this TF. Stixay on the Corki. Remelia on the Thresh. And on the opposite side,
For Frank Fang Gaming, it's going to be Brandon for the win, taking Gnar into the top lane. 14A has Gragas in the jungle. Golden Glue this time around will have Ziggs for that mid lane. And Latman and Baby will be taking Jinx and Morgana into the bot lane.
and I think it's absolutely no surprise that both of these starts are looking relatively defensive. With so much pressure on, no one wants to risk messing up a level 1 fight, throwing a game away. We saw one of those MSI games, I can't remember which one of the EDG SKT games where we just saw the triple kill. Glad
I
you're
may
here.
remember it.
Yeah, you may remember it fondly as that game where they started with just a massive advantage. So not wanting to risk anything quite yet as the teams both move into lane. What do you expect from these early lane matchups? Who should we be watching?
Alberto and 14A. It's all going to come about early jungle. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at where Baby and Latman are looking at. It looks like they are going to contest these Krugs. Will they get it? No. Okay, so Stixie and Remelia did manage to take the small Krug, so they will be entering the lane with a slight EXP advantage. We'll see if they make use of the level 2. Obviously, Thresh has insane kill pressure at level 2 because he'll have both his Flay and his Death Sentence available.
And in the hands for Remelia, it feels like guaranteed kill pressure as those hooks just come through time and time again. And Stixay now on this Corki pick, known for its early game damage. You see a decent chunk of Latman's health getting taken away. And, I mean, this lane, Baby and Remelia both played out of their minds in every one of these games. And, I mean, the real question, who is going to be the better support at the end of the day in these bot lanes? Because the AD carries have been great. They've done their jobs. They've excelled when it's counted. But really, I feel like this is all about the supports on the bottom side of the map.
And really, that's something that we don't often talk about in the Challenger Series. It's typically all about the mid laners, since we do have Alex, since you do have people like Yasui, Golden Glue, that, you know, the supports kind of get wayside, but there are so many powerful supports in the Challenger scene. Just look at the top 3 alone. You've got Sheep, Baby, and Remelia. All of them exceptional on these high skill cap, skill shot related champions.
Of course, and I mean, that alone has pushed them so far in this game, and on top of that, just a level of macro strategy we never expected for either of these teams. So this game, the highest level of challenger we have seen all year, and can only imagine what it's going to look like a few months from now when we move into NACS, but we're not there yet. This is the final game, so much on the line. These guys want to prove themselves. Frank Fang Gaming so close to victory. RF Legendary already playing so aggressive in this top lane.
And really, you were talking about it kind of before the game happened. Misfits, they've pretty much gone undefeated for the last 3 weeks of this tournament. And if they lose here, I mean, that really doesn't count for anything.
It's a lot of pressure, too. I mean, all those games, all those moments where they came out on top, meaningless in the face of the one last team and Frank Fang Gaming doing so well. But RF, oof, so aggressive. That comfort pick. Just so strong in that early lane, and Brandon for the win. Already getting bullied out yet again. Looking a lot like the start of that last Lulu game.
It's funny because we saw this in the LCK when Aurelia was picked into Narb because it's supposedly a counter pick, and the Aurelia just lost every time. But hold on!
Gold card might save his life. Alberto on the backside. Are we going to see a first blood?
Oh!
Determined to get it. First blood for Alberto. Grabbing that one. Will he find the follow-up? Spear's going to miss, and Misfits aggressive right out the gate. First blood. 4 minutes, 30-ish seconds. Insanity, but Hook following it up as well. Baby could be in trouble. Black Shield on the bottom side. Ignite ticking down. Ramelia the one in trouble now. Stixay trying to trade something back. And an explosion of aggression for both of these sides. And Alberto living up to that aggressive early play. First blood for that Nidalee.
I thought for sure the satchel had canceled out Nidalee's gap closer, so she was unable to follow on her trap and find the extra damage for the assassination. But Alberto makes it happen, connects it, and finds the first blood. This is what we were talking about. This early game aggressive play from either jungler. So far, Crumb's got the lead. 14A did a great job trying to find the counter. Unfortunately, goes down, loses his double buff, and now it's about, will Crumbs continue to snowball this lead, and can this spell the end for Frank Fang Gaming at 4 minutes and 30 seconds? Is it likely? No, but this has kind of been the trend that's been set for this entire series.
Definitely, and it is a game of inches at the end of the day, and Alberto found that inch there, and it's on Nidalee, building this Magus enchantment, getting that early cooldown reduction. This is the difference between, I mean, coming into a lane and being able to murder someone in a single combo or taking a little bit longer, and they cannot afford to make mistakes like that. Golden Glue's cleanse is down. Alex, any yellow card could result in Golden Glue's death if Alberto is there to follow up, and this is not a situation Frank Fang wanted to be in. The good news, they still have this strong late-game scaling lineup, as we've talked about, and it's so insane how close this game is and how everything can change depending on what Alberto does next.
Likewise, we saw some pinks come out from Misfits. Alex walking over as Alberto stepped forward and looking to place his pink ward, but now in the top lane,
Brandon for the win. He doesn't even see Nidalee coming in on the backside. The spear's gonna land, and that is one dead Gnar. The flash irrelevant, and Alberto, we wanted to know if he'd follow it up. He seems determined. Ramelia there as well. No summoner spells for Ziggs. The Super Mega Death Bomb coming in. Alex saved just barely. Not enough. The bouncing bomb as I struggle to find the name. Golden Glue finds the kill and grabs it. Trades something back in the mid lane. A massive turn there. Ramelia and Alex overstaying their welcome. Golden Glue, the casual bomb over the wall to secure that blue buff.
The 2v1 right there. Now this is the big difference, and this is the thing about Twisted Fate. It sounds very obvious, but Twisted Fate really only takes 2 abilities to lane. He takes his pick a card and he takes his wild card. Obviously, he has the passive on his 3rd ability where you can get an extra proc and do added damage every, trying to think, 3 hits or 5 hits on a target. But his destiny in a team fight, or excuse me, in a 1v1 isn't going to help him. It's not like, oh, I'm in this sick duel with this Ziggs right now. If I just press R, I'm going to have this extra ability and be able to outplay him. No, obviously it's going to impact globally, or I guess I should say semi-globally across the map. The big difference there in the 2v1, Golden Glue had that ultimate that allowed him to do damage into his lane. Finds the 2v1 and takes the kill for himself. Just a fantastic outplay.
And not only that, look at the CS right now. The CS, for the first time in the matches that these teams have played, is in the favor of Golden Glue. And Golden Glue, I mean, a 10 CS lead already. This is unprecedented. All he needed was the 6.
I just need this champion that's so easy to farm on that it just completely compensates for my inability to do it myself.
Come on, give him a little credit here. He's been
I just
playing
gave him his 2v1. Good job, Golden Glue.
He doesn't need your approval. He just 2v1 and came out on top. I think his record speaks for itself.
Ramelia, Alex-ish, Alex who? Boom.
Got that one there. Stixay with the Sheen early on versus the Avarice Blade. An interesting choice, but Latman, it's worked out well for him in previous games. I'm wondering how it's going to work out here against this more aggressive Corki pick.
Cookie's big power spike is going to be that Sheen and ooh.
Oh, Destiny on the way in. The spear not going to land though. They find that in the follow-up. Alex Each grabbing a kill. That's the map movement we expected from the Misfits. Quick hook off to the side. Nothing going to happen in that bot lane, but this three-piece unit of RF Legendary, Alberto, and Alex Each, they can just about kill anyone when their ultimates are available.
That's what we were talking about. That R does nothing for Alex's lane, but it certainly helps out his side lanes right there. Beautiful Destiny.
Absolutely excellent play. Now a 20 CS lead for Golden Blue in the mid lane, so it was exchanged for something. Stixay could be in trouble here. He's going to walk away just fine. No team has bothered to move down for Dragon, and not too much vision from either side there as well. Ziggs and Gragas waiting off to the side. Looks like they may try to find the engagement here. Will we see the explosive cask? Try to move it in. Alex Each, quick flash out. Gonna save his life, but 14A. A lot of pressure into this mid lane. Alex has to be careful. Ghost will be up soon, but it may not be enough.
So much respect given for Alex to have the reaction flash right there even before 14A threw the cask. Obviously 14A was looking to bounce him back into harm's way.
14A, I mean, once again, I mean, we've talked about this pretty much every game, but he's the player to watch here. He's done so much. He's Alex Each, a player who's suffering down here in this mid lane and hasn't had the impact yet, quite yet on the side of 14A. Definitely not on the scale with Alberto. We're going to have to see what he does as we approach these mid-game fights, as these teams start to try to take Dragon, but Alberto, even just to take a little bit of vision out here. This Nidalee is so far ahead, they have to be so scared. That's a 10-minute Magus enchantment, and that's such a strong Nidalee.
Things slowing down a little bit, a lot of more focus being turned towards this Dragon. We'll see if Crumbs finds a successful gank on the mid lane, or perhaps they use the next Destiny cooldown down into that bottom side. Obviously, tons of gank pressure there with Romelia's CC as well as Lantern ganks.
And Labman and Baby still going pretty even in this lane for the most part. The CS, though, vastly in the favor of Stixay as he continues to push in these lanes. This is looking a lot like the last game for Misfits, and it's a big question whether or not Fang Gaming will be able to find a way back in as they push in these lanes confidently. Stixay sidestepping there. We've seen this one before, the binding into the chompers, and it never quite seems to work out. Romelia always on point with the Lantern there. That time, not even needed.
Great spacing always. They always say that the mark of a good Thresh player is the hook play, but the mark of a great Thresh player is the Lantern play.
And it's definitely something we've seen be on point for Amelia, consistently putting it where it needs to be grabbed. Have to see if she can continue with that moving forward. And RF, well, like last game, already with a massive EXP advantage. Level 9 to level 7. Gnarl, of course, will be level 8 off that way, but will still be behind by a significant margin. Something to consider moving forward. And Alberto, interestingly enough, itemizing the tier here. What are your thoughts on the jungle Nidalee with the tier?
Obviously, he's going to be able to stack it very quickly just because she's going to cycle through her abilities very quickly and very often throughout her jungle roam. Tells me that he wants to carry, which obviously, because he already has 2 kills,
Romelia could be in trouble. Looks like they are going to go down here. 14A grabbing a quick kill, and Fang Gaming finding something back, but they have to be careful. Alberto, the Black Shield, wow, Baby. That was a perfect Black Shield, an instant reaction speed from him.
Likewise, it'll also give viability to Alberto as this game transitions into late. Obviously, it'll give him damage and scaling potential, so he'll be able to continue to be a factor.
And definitely going to be interesting to see what he does with the advantage that he has over the next couple of minutes. Corki on the bottom side of the map, approaching the Finnish Triforce. Jinx a little bit further behind due to the Avarice Blade, but you can expect her to catch up as that farm numbers continue to grow. I mean, both teams poised for a big fight. We've seen picks across the map, but Misfits can probably just keep moving the way that they have. Alex Each, though, really struggling to trade efficiently in this mid lane, and we're more than happy to just keep spamming out these abilities with that blue buff in his hands.
Destiny is back up. We'll see where Alex looks to use it next. It will be much harder this time around just because now that Golden Glue is past his level 9, has all 5 points settled into his queue. His wave clear is absolutely absurd. So technically, Zig should be able to just continually keep Alex pushed. Although Alex did just back. Ping does go down bottom.
Looks like they may be trying to find some pressure elsewhere on the map. More than willing to give up a little bit of CS and even potentially a tower. It means finding an advantage elsewhere. However, Alex just going to resign himself to returning to this mid lane. Let's see if they can find the engage. Latman could be in trouble, caught out here. The hook is going to miss. A quick flash burned. The heal burned as well. Amelia trading her flash for so much in that quick engage. If she had read correctly on the flash, that would have been one dead Jinx. However, still gaining a lot from that exchange, and now, next time Crumbs wants to make a visit to the spot lane, it'll be even easier for him to pick up a kill.
Risk versus reward, like you said, just didn't quite make the correct read on Latman's flash right there to follow it up.
And just looking at these bot lanes, looking at each and every one of those players, I mean, this is pretty impressive from Misfits, I gotta be honest. Both these teams are relatively young in the terms of the scene, and we've seen them come back and forth on so many of these best of X games, which is usually something there's a lot of even more advanced, more LCS level players struggle with, and no surprise that Misfits with these two veterans are keeping a level head approaching this game, and we gotta hope that Fang can do the same, but they are slowly but surely falling behind, so we gotta hope for the best for them, but they gotta be careful. Oh, a perfect Gnar there. Brandon for the win, probably gonna get out of that one. Alex Beach wasting the ultimate. Nope, stun coming out, trying to stop the further engage, but Misfit RF just too tanky. Able to pick that one up. The Sheen burst getting that one, but it looks like it's gonna be traded back on the bottom side with this dragon.
With so many resources committed top lane, obviously this is going to be the best answer for Fang. They take that one for free.
Happy to have it. Getting something back, at least from the pressure across the map, but still a 2K gold lead in the favor of Misfits. And if there's anything we've learned, it's that if you funnel enough money into RF Legendary, he will carry the game. And right now, this Aurelia, 131 to Gnar's 82, 1-0 and 2 to 0-3-0. That is absolutely devastating.
Itemization coming out across the board. We can talk about power spikes right now. We've got 2 completed Trinity Forces. 6C has his completed. Likewise, RF Legendary, which probably the biggest snowball, or excuse me, biggest discrepancy between these two teams are the top laners. 131 CS versus 87. Brandon for the win. Again, having a very hard time answering this pick.
Ooh, Golden Blue could be in trouble here, getting stunned and locked down. Alberto does a lot of damage, maybe able to pick up that one, flashing over the wall for this one. Not going to find anything there in that exchange. Trying to get the kill desperately. Will grab it, will trade his life. Brandon for the win. In on the backside, maybe behind in CS, but still not going to give up on impact here as he goes in. Rocket going to snag that kill. Trying to get the stun, but RF is just too mobile. Brandon suddenly finding himself in enemy territory as they move in. Ramelia will have the death sentence available shortly, pushing them back with the Gnar, using that leap to get out of there. Maybe enough. RF Legendary moving back up to the top side, continuing laning phase as scheduled, but a 2-for-2 exchange. Fang Gaming finding something back despite the gold deficit on their side.
I mean, technically, it did trade out even as far as kills, like I said, 2 for 2. But the big thing is the TP discrepancy. The fact that RF Legendary walked down, whereas Brandon for the win used his TP to get involved in the back half of that fight. So, Dragons down, it's not as big of a deal as far as trading for objectives or pressuring objectives with that, but certainly it impacts the bottom lane. Ramelia and Stixie now have the comfort that they can go super hard and super ham in the spot lane, knowing that their Aurelia will be there and the Gnar cannot.
It's definitely a comforting thing to have, especially in a high-pressure game such as this one. And of course, you talk about the Trinity Forces being finished. Gnar hasn't even finished a major item yet, resigned to buying those home guard boots. And of course, on the opposite side, Jinx yet to finish that Infinity Edge. So, item discrepancy indeed. And it's going to be... They need to find a team fight is what it feels like to me, and we'll have to see if they can do that. They have such a strong lineup in the mid to late game, but they may not even get the opportunity to get there. Alberto just continuously pushing in here. Oh, Destiny coming in, the yellow card over the wall. Not sure if they're going to pursue this one. Looks like they are. No fear, knowing they can kill him before that Mega Gnar comes up, and RF grabbing yet another kill. 2-0 and 3, and that Gnar can just not catch a break. Brandon for the win, singled out and shut down.
And unfortunately, he doesn't really have any sort of itemization to deal with this Aurelia right now. Most of his gold has gone into his boots to delay the stun, so the Mercury Treads, as well as on top of that, the Home Guard and a giant spelt. Hold on though, because in the mid lane.
And it's a tough spot to be in. Of course, that bomb doing a massive chunk of damage, but it's a tough spot to be in when Merc Treads, that tenacity, really your only option to slower these stuns is just not enough. When RF Legendary is so strong that he can pretty much walk on top of you under tower. All he needs is the little bit of gold card damage from TF to do so. Frank Fang Gaming, though, get that turret back in the mid lane. They're still in this. Very close as this Aurelia starting to get more and more powerful.
Again, it's the difference between skirmishing versus a 5v5. They have so many tools in their composition to look for a 5v5 to create that space in that zone using Ziggs for Jinx to kind of run wild, Latman, getting the resets that she needs. Whereas if they keep fighting these 3v3s, these 2v2s, these 3v4s, things like that, as long as RF Legendary is involved with that, and as long as Alex has his Destiny available, they're never going to find the better of these trades. Frank Fang Gaming need to group up.
Moving in, the Lantern on the waist. Baby doesn't have 2 flashes there to get in, but Remelia could be in trouble. They do have the explosive cast, and Dragon wants to throw it in, but they could be not careful enough. RF on the backside, that TP discrepancy you talk about coming in big. 14 gonna go down so quickly. Latman be overextending a little bit here is going to be okay. Alex, he's pushing in. Alberto not going to land the max range spear. Brandon for the win, going to make it out of that one. Boomerang and the slow. Going to save his life on that. Moving forward, Misfits so dominant. Alberto, no fear here, has to be careful. Spear not going to land. Destiny on the backside, though. Going to grab that one. No Meganar once again. 0-5-1. Brandon for the win. Not catch a break.
Just the mobility of these champions, the fact that they had the TP, that they had the Destiny, the kill pressure across the map is just absurd for Misfits. You can't be anywhere. You can't hide from them.
And this is so early in the game. We're only 20 minutes in. The laning phase really isn't even over
dove
yet.
2 towers.
Yeah, just no hesitation. So much raw power on the side of this Misfits lineup. And Frank Fang Gaming, while they do have the late game power so much present in this lineup, are they even going to find an opportunity to group? Because they can just split push and let this TF show up wherever he needs to be. This Nidalee is so mobile. This Corki and this Thresh are so autonomous in what they need to do. They can get in and get out without anybody else helping them. It's so oppressive and so difficult for Frank Fang to deal with.
Frank Fang, they do need to group up because that's how their composition works. It works better in a 5v5. The problem is, and I need to clarify this, is that the power spike right now is in very much in favor of Misfits. They have, like I said, the 2 Trinity forces complete. They have itemization advantages across the board. I mean, effectively what needs to happen is, yes, Frank Fang Gaming need to fight 5v5s, but they need to stall out and turtle until they can get their itemization evened out so they can fight a 5v5. We saw that, Alberto. I don't know if you saw him jumping.
Oh, I did.
But I saw it. It was on camera.
But okay, so here's the thing: we look about them, we talk about them stalling out. They can clear the waves effortlessly with this Jinx, with this Ziggs as well. But that is a Luden's Echo Nidalee at 20 minutes. That is a Corki with a Triforce building a Bloodthirster. That is a Lich Bane TF. If they get caught out, they die. If they sit under their towers, it doesn't feel like they're safe either. They have no sustain on this team. But Misfit, or Alberto gonna snag that one. Lantern coming in, grabbing one dragon and tying it up. Now a 5k gold lead in their favor, and Misfit's absolutely dominant. So strong. That spear taking out about half of KB's health. So much damage.
You thought normal AP Nidalee poke was bad. Welcome to AP Nidalee with Luden's Echo poke. Because obviously not only are you going to take that massive damage from the spear, which is just amplified because Luden's Echo is such a oppressive flat AP item, but then you get the Luden's Echo proc on top of it, so it rains down upon everyone else around you. It's excellent.
Well, Misfits are grouping up in the mid lane. We'll have to see if it gets rained down upon them here. Kind of just sitting ducks for these Nidalee spears. Alberto on the side. They try to find a pick. They're doing a good job of stalling out so far, as you said. Pretty good, but down they're just waiting for the picks. 14A could be in trouble. The Destiny coming in. Alberto on the backside. Latman going down. There's one late game carry taken out. Moving in here. They throw out the spear. They could be in trouble. Gnar coming in. Will turn into mini Gnar shortly. Cannot find the engage. There's too much CC. He finds one. Cannot get Alex Each, though the heal and the ghost coming out. Sidestepping beautifully there. Taking down the Morgana before the Soul Shackles can proc. The last tick not making it out. The Rocket not going to make it. But the DOT on that red buff snagging the kill. And Misfits pick up 4 for none as they push down the mid lane, 13-4, and now a 9k gold lead, only 23 minutes in. RF Legendary pushing on the top side at the same time.
Misfits set a brilliant trap, and Frank Fang Gaming walked right into it. Using the pink ward, Remilia stood in the bush knowing that there was zero vision on her, set the ward over the wall, waited for someone to come clear it, and knowing that they didn't have eyes, looked for the engagement. Likewise, Destiny is popped. Alberto says, you know what, let's commit to the backline Jinx, delete him from the map, and then take the team fight. Brilliantly played and very patient.
So strong. This TF and this Nidalee paired together. We saw the TF Evelyn yesterday, and it was strong and it did a lot of damage, maybe a little bit more team fight presence, but when you're looking to make a pick on a team with their damage focused on these 1 or 2 characters, there's nothing you can do. Destiny, gold card, instantly they're going to get locked down. If Baby is not standing next to Latman at all times, that is one dead Jinx at a moment's notice, and Frank Fang Gaming need to figure out how to move around this map in a way to not make themselves quite so vulnerable. Might start with taking down that pink ward as well. Both teams taking a little bit of a breather here. No major objectives available yet. No pick opportunities quite yet either.
We're coming out to the time of the game, though, 25 minutes, where we can start moving vision around Baron, especially because Dragon's not in contention.
Oh, the secret Baron attempt. Not working out so well for them. We saw, obviously, oh my god, just a massive chunk of health there. That's a Gnar with so much health and still losing about half of it. In that exchange, they have to be careful here. They grouped in the wrong spot. The Baron was the wrong choice. They didn't even go for it. It still might turn against them. They have to be careful. Remilia dodging the rocket there. Still going to go down. Alex Each on the backside. Gnar is going to transform. He gets one. Is it going to be enough?
Oh!
Alex Each locked down by the binding. Is going to get picked up here, but we'll grab 2 with the wild cards there. And RF Legendary, along with the rest of his team, still left standing. Picking up that one. It's going to be the 3-for-2 exchange in the favor of Misfits. Alex Each going down, but picking up a double kill. Alberto and the rest of the team just so strong. They can't, there's too many carries. They take down one, there's just another one to take its place.
To be really fair, that was not what Misfits wanted. It wasn't as well played or as cleanly played as they would have liked. Remilia failed her flash when she tried to disengage off of her initial hard engage over the wall. Likewise, Alex Each walked into a binding when he could have very easily sidestepped it. So a couple of mechanical missteps there that really allowed Frank Fang Gaming to kind of come back into the back half of that team fight. That said, just really unfortunate timing from Frank Fang. Dragon wasn't up for contention. Of course, it will be spawning again in 2 minutes, so there was no reason why Misfits wouldn't approach Baron to make sure that a sneaky Baron wouldn't have occurred. So just really unfortunate there. But good job, you know, cleaning up what they could.
They got what they could back, of course, a 12k gold lead, and this is so oppressive on the side of Misfits, and Frank Fang Gaming are going to need a lot of time to catch up. A lot of time. I don't know if they have this time, honestly, as Misfits start to push in more and more aggressively. The vision being denied here, as you see Alberto push in here as well. And Aurelia pushing on the bottom side. Massive CS discrepancies. We look at them again. The only person ahead is going to be Golden Glue from the mid lane, and Alex Each doesn't even need it. He's 6'3" and 8 at this point. He can live without the CS. His advantage is so massive. But Aurelia, an 80 CS lead over the Gnar, and this game's spiraling out of control. And Misfits now turn to the Baron, and this could be the last nail. Frank Fang Gaming coffin, but the bomb coming in. They have to back off this one. Rocket coming in as well. They will back off. Frank Fang Gaming delaying the end of this game, keeping themselves in it at least for another minute.
They do commit to make sure that Misfits don't restart the Baron. Obviously, it was just a lucky guess because it was pinked and cleared, but at the same time, by committing so many resources towards that pit, they give up their bottom tier tower. Alex, with the split push there, takes it for free.
And Alex Each has just been on point this game, despite falling behind in CS, making impact everywhere. You talk about him struggling to roam. He's made those roams this time around. Pointed out again and again. And of course, Alberto, when that aggressive Gragas pick was taken away from him, he went one step further. He said, aggression worked last time around. Let's take it to the most aggressive pick in the jungle right now. And it's that Nidalee. And it's working out. 4, 1, and 8. And this is Alberto, normally the supportive style jungler. Makes early plays, backs off a little bit. But now, happy to carry this one out. Every single member of Misfits looking like a carry threat here in Game 5.
What also synergizes really well with their composition, just because they likewise have a Corki, and so their poke siege potential is just absurd. Between the rockets and the cards and the spears. So
difficult to deal with. Misfits moving in, positioning around this Baron, of course. Super Mega Death Rocket, Mega Inferno Bomb up again. Maybe be able to dissuade this one in similar fashion. Of course, 14A has to be careful here. He's getting stunned up just a little bit as he moves out of this one. Taking a lot of poke. Moving in. They're going to get the pick. And with the jungler down, Misfits free to do whatever they want on this top side of the jungle. Will they go for the Baron is the big question. Alex each split pushing on the bottom side. Fang Gaming need to make a decision here. They need to figure out what exactly they want to do. Super Mega Inferno Bomb, not Super Mega Death Inferno Bomb. Moving in, but it's too little too late. Misfits are going to get the Baron if they're not careful. And also going to break the inhibitor line without that buff head. Oh, Misfits dominating, grabbing this Baron buff. Securing this for themselves, a 14k gold lead. They're trying to catch Alex Siege, but it's not enough. No kill, no Baron. The turret goes down. Everything going wrong for Fang Gaming. Everything going right for Misfits.
Worst case scenario for Fang Gaming right there. Obviously that tower was just shredded by the Lich Bane, the blue card proc from Twisted Fate, and like you said, everything went wrong that could have gone wrong. Open inhibitor on the bottom side, obviously that's the #1 inhibitor. The mid inhibitor will give them the most passive map control, but that bottom inhibitor, should they break it, will pretty much guarantee a free Baron should this game draw out to a second Baron for Misfits, just because they'd be able to play the split pressure game like they did just there. We'll see where they just choose to consolidate their power, if it's going to be the mid lane or if they're going to go for the open inhib.
And Alex Each just head to the bottom lane. He's happy to just go for that inhib on his own. We'll have to see where the rest of the team follows up. Fang Gaming just have to play on the back foot here. They have to defend. They have to survive, quite frankly. It used to be about finding fights. Now it's about just living for the next couple of minutes to find their next opportunity to get an engagement. And it all started with those 5 Dragon Baron kind of games for Misfits, and it feels fitting that it might end in the same way if they can find this win here as Vermillion finish the Banner of Command. This is the classic style coming in from Misfits. They love this build path, and it's interesting to see them utilize it here. A patient and slow siege, just like we saw from them at the start of the AlphaDraft Challenger League. Now trying to use it to finish this one off. Oh, Alberto, though, trying to get finished off as well. Brandon for the win, going to be able to find a kill. That Black Shield keeping him engaged. Alex Each will get this inhibitor, but the team fight in the mid lane could go against them. No, RF Legendary on the top side. The rest of the squad available as well, but Baby and Golden Glue are so low. RF gonna break through this tower effortlessly, and they committed so much to get that kill, but it's too little too late. 16k gold lead is not so easily overcome. As they push into the mid lane, RF Legendary going in, getting knocked out of this fight, at least briefly. Vermillion more than happy to back off there with the Lantern. That empowered creep pushing in. They might be able to break all 3 inhibitors and the base. Fang Gaming don't find something. Brandon for the win moving in. The Boomerang is on the way. They didn't catch him with the hook. They're gonna have to jump out. The Lantern saving his life. That extra life steal keeping him going just barely, but all 3 inhibitors are down now. Fang Gaming running out of options, running out of hope in Game 5. Misfits dominating in a way we haven't seen since the earlier weeks in the AlphaDraft, and looking absolutely unstoppable with a 15k gold.
There's just so much pressure, and you said it earlier in the game that pretty much every single member of Misfits right now is a carry threat. You have Aurelia, Nidalee, Twisted Fate, and Corki. And so when they decide to do these massive 1-3-1 split pushes, it is a valid threat because so many resources have to be committed to Alex, to RF. Fang Gaming decided to go all in and to try to engage on the 3 members in the mid lane, but unfortunately just couldn't find the kill and likewise lost all of their resources.
And they just don't have enough resources. That's what it comes down to. We want to talk about resources. They don't have enough damage. They don't have enough defensive stats. And if what they need to do at this point is going to come down to just stalling it out. And it's 32 minutes. They're starting to get powerful. Jinx is finally starting to scale up. But I mean, look at the opposite side. That Nidalee, massive. Aurelia, similarly getting tankier and tankier, still does a ton of damage, and Corki keeping up with the Jinx as well. Alberto, though, could be in trouble if they can get this pick, could turn things around. They do get it. Not going to be enough there. Are they going to be able to find anything else? And another one drops. Destiny coming in. This could be the end of the game moving forward. Flatman so low. Are they going to find the kill? The double kill now going down. This could be the end of the game. Brandon for the win. Hooked out. Gnar coming back, desperate to get something. And Misfits taking this one down. They are going to be your AlphaDraft champions as they push in. GG being called. And the Misfits emerge victorious. $5,000. Challenger pride. everything earned from them. That first place in the regular split, well earned, as they finish out for the AlphaDraft Challenger League.
Expectations going into the Alpha Draft, obviously with big names flanking their